This half hour being brought to you by Purdy Insurance, Market Street in Sunbury. Go to purdyinsurance.com. Auto, home, life, business, boat, motorcycle, RV, Medicare products. They handle it all to make sure you're fully insured, but also to save you money because customer service means everything to them at Purdy Insurance, Market Street in Sunbury. Go to purdyinsurance.com. Joined by the outstanding Bob Nightengale, USA Today. Bob, I always enjoy our conversation. So great to have you back.
Yeah, good talking to you, Steve.
All right. So, for some odd reason, every single year it's a broken record. We talk about the Phillies needing bullpen help. So, when it comes to looking to bullpen help, is Western Pennsylvania a possible outlet for them?
No, it is. I mean, Bednar is pitching better and everything else. So, no, it definitely is. But you're right. These Dave Dombrowski teams always has great teams, great rotations, but the bullpen has always let them down. And I think they're going to go full force this year to try to get somebody.
How much does it at least help the Pirates that they have both Bednar and also that they have in the bullpen Dennis Santana?
No, big time. And Santana's been very good.
Yeah.
So, they don't have to trade him. They got Bednar under contract, so it's not like, okay, we have to move this guy's expiring contract. So the Pirates are kind of in the driver's seat.
They are. What about Emmanuel Clase of the Guardians? What do you see his market value in this particular trade sequence?
Yeah, no, he's got a ton and pitched, very, very well. Great track record and everything else. I know he likes his own personal catcher, so that part would be interesting. Looks like they're not going anywhere this year, so I would think he's very much available. Same type of thing. He's under contract for a couple more years at low money, so not like you have to trade him, but certainly I think he will get moved.
Jose Ramirez pulled out of the All-Star game. What was the significance of that?
He said just to get ready for, a good second half. I think he just wanted to time off instead. We used to see that a lot. You're not supposed to do that. But he says, my body's been beat up and stuff. I need time. And guys don't do it nearly as much as they used to, but just be very common among players. And, it's his right to do it as long as there's some kind of little nagging injury, which I guess he has. Okay, so there's buyers, sellers, and not sure. In all this, who do you anticipate potentially to be the buyers between now and the end of the month? Well, some of the teams that are in playoff spots right now. I expect the Phillies to be aggressive, Yankees and Mets to be aggressive, Toronto Blue Jays for sure, Chicago Cubs, Dodgers would get some bullpen help, but particularly I think the Blue Jays, Yankees, and Cubs. The Cubs and Blue Jays, both GMs are last year their contracts, so they almost have to make the playoffs, or they could be on the unemployment line. So I think both those teams will be very aggressive.
Exactly. Okay, now let's get to the not sure. Thanks to the Nationals and the Rockies being on the schedule at the right time, the Red Sox have won 6 in a row. Okay, and they're about to get Alex Bregman back. What are they? Buyers, sellers? What are they under Craig Breslow right now?
I think mild buyers, but not big time, not aggressive. I think they'll see what's out there, hope something falls in their lap. I can't see them being, very aggressive. And I unless they fall apart, I can't see them just selling. I think the fan base would go ballistic after trading away Devers. So, I think more stay pat than anything else.
What do you think of Roman Anthony to this point? I mean, they called him up, and he was batting 114 at one point. Now he's up in the 260s. What do you think about him?
It's a lot of potential, but it's tough. The young kid for the Royals, Castelloni.
Oh, yeah.
Big time. I think it's like 3 for his first 54. It's tough. I mean, you see that so often where these guys come back, and it's like, they're supposed to be I think people expect them to be superstars right away. Doesn't work that way. It's a tough game. So, we probably won't see him, really develop in the player he should be in for a couple of years.
It's a 162 game schedule. You'll have moments where things are going well. Every once in a while, you'll hit a bad spot. The Dodgers have lost 6 in a row. Why?
Well, they can't hit all of a sudden. They do have pitching problems, all the injuries. But they, ever so quietly, Mookie Betts is having his worst offensive season. Freddie Freeman's been scuffling. No Max Muncy, who had got real red hot. And, the outfield, Kike Hernandez just won the DL. Michael Conforto, has not performed well at all. So, just a few guys are really stepping in and doing it. So, for them, it's still sitting pretty. The National League West isn't as strong as we thought it was going to be.
Right.
So, they'll be fine. They're just going through, one of those. I think they've scored 10 runs in those 6 games.
You mentioned Devers earlier because he was dealt to San Francisco. What do you think about the deal where San Francisco acquires him, and are you surprised he's slumping a bit?
I'm not surprised he's slumping. It just seems like, we see it in free agency a lot where a guy switches teams and tries to impress and do too much and put so much pressure on themselves where they struggle. And that's the way he's looked. I know he's had some back and hamstring problems. He's not running well at all. Still has not played first base. That won't happen until after the All-Star break. So, he hasn't been a difference maker at all. And the team's kind of, chugging along here, trying to make the playoffs. But so far, he's made very little difference.
The Cubs have been playing terrific baseball. What has come together for them, and what does it tell you about their organization and their system?
Well, they're supposed to win, for a long time. They haven't. They're supposed to have a dynasty there when they started winning in 2015, of course, the World Series in 16. Since 17, they haven't done anything. So, same thing. Jed Hoyer's the last year of his contract. So, this year, at least they got the position players playing well. The offense is their best offense since, I think, 1930, but the runs are scoring. That being said, as well as they play, they're having they've had some pitching injuries. And, they're once again as the Milwaukee Brewers, whose payroll is about $90 million, cheaper. And year after year, here comes the Brewers. They're like the National League's, version of the Tampa Bay Rays. Just, overachieve year after year.
Well, the Pirates, when they played the Mets, they swept them. I think they outscored them 30-4 or some number like that. Now, the Pirates haven't scored any runs since. Okay. They haven't done that. But how do you view the Mets at this point, and what might they need to do here to strengthen what they assumed was a strong hand when they started the season?
They got a good farm system. I think they still need to go get a top-notch starter.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Sandy Alcantara, but he has struggled. I'm not sure if he's the answer, for the rest of this year, and maybe 2 years after that. But, David Stearns really has not invested much money at all in starting pitching. They were never in the Max Reed sweepstakes or Corbin Burns or anything like that. And I still think they need a top-tier pitcher. If Senga comes back, that's fine. But, it's not they don't have the rotation as scary a come postseason. It might be fine getting in the playoffs, but I just don't know how deep they can go.
Okay, you mentioned that they get into the playoffs, how deep they can go. There are certain teams that will make the playoffs, and you don't expect much out of them. Is there a team in that grouping that you're keeping an eye on that actually may have the potential to advance in the playoffs because you do like the makeup of their roster and what they're doing with it?
We used to always talk about that with Seattle, having the pitching.
Yeah.
Like, if they ever get in, they scare you. I think that team now, they have not performed well, is the Texas Rangers. It's like if they ever get in with the way DeGrom is pitching, Evaldi and all those guys, it's like they could really do some damage. But yeah, I think that one team, if you say this team is built to go deep in the postseason, it's probably the Philadelphia Phillies, just with that rotation. That rotation is lights out, and starting with Wheeler, they can do a lot of damage and get to a World Series. And likewise on the American League, Detroit Tigers, particularly the way Casey Mize is pitching. If you have, the two of them, Skubal and Mize, facing two of those guys in a short series, you got real problems.
Yeah, 7-game series, those 4 starts. I mean, between those two guys, that's 4 starts in a 7-game series for guys like that. Offensively, Detroit does enough. What do you like about their lineup?
It's just steady. There's nothing, nobody really scares you. I mean, Riley Green's having a great year. Torkelson has bounced back at first base. But you see they're scrappy, put the ball in play, do little things, but, that sort of thing. The lineup kind of reminds me of Milwaukee, just kind of gets things done without that big star.
Right. I have to ask about the Yankees, the obligatory Yankees question. I heard Aaron Judge was a decent player. How do you view them? What I know you mentioned earlier what they might need to do, but how do you view the Yankees? Actually, how good are they?
Yeah, it's a good question. How good they are? I don't think anybody really knows. They need a third baseman badly. They moved, Jazz Chisholm to second base. Excuse me, that helps. They need another frontline starter for sure. They could use a reliever. But I think they've got to go get a third baseman, whether it's Suarez of Arizona, Ryan McMahon of Colorado, somebody. They need to grab somebody to step up here.
You did mention Colorado. How concerned is Major League Baseball with the fact that they're that bad? Because, they don't want they don't want people to be bad. If you're bad, you should be winning in the 60s instead of maybe potentially winning in the 40s. What is your thought, and also Major League Baseball's thought on the situation in Colorado?
Well, they hate for a team to be that bad. Last year was the White Sox. This year Colorado. Who's next? It's not like they're not spending money. They're spending money. They spend the wrong places. They give out money to Chris Bryant. They made the bad decision. Trading away Nolan Arenado, and so it's just more internal than anything else. But it's not like you can force them to spend money, because they have spent money in the past. They've had big stars. They were good not that long ago, and a playoff caliber team. So I think you just kind of let it ride. They like the owner. They like the ownership group a lot. Dick Monfort's, kind of in an inner circle with Rob Manfred. In fact, he might be his most trusted owner. So he'll do a lot of the labor stuff, coming up here during the next CBA. So yeah, nothing you do, but just kind of embarrassing for the sport to have a team that bad.
Something I do value is loyalty. I do, and the Rockies are said to be a very loyal organization. That obviously can work for you many, many times. In some ways, has that worked against them?
Yeah, it's almost like the Chicago White Sox, and I think they lived off that 2005 team way too long. Yeah. There was bad trades, bad drafts and stuff, and nobody got fired. I remember one scouting guy got fired, and Reinsdorf felt, the owner felt so bad, he still kept giving him his $200,000 salary, having him in the media guide still as a vice president, even though he wasn't working for the club. That sort of thing. So loyalty goes both ways, and people love working for the Rockies, and it's a great atmosphere too. Unlike I know Pittsburgh's obviously the most beautiful ballpark. Rockies are certainly top 5. And people still show up there, 30,000 fans a night, partying and carrying on like they're a contender.
That's a great point. They do continue to draw well. Bob, always a pleasure. Thanks so much. Enjoy the All-Star game. Enjoy Atlanta. Appreciate it.
All right, my pleasure. Take care, Steve.
Bob Nightengale, USA Today, half hour, brought to you by our good friends at Purdy Insurance. Market Street in Sunbury. Go to purdyinsurance.com. Auto, home, life, business, boat, motorcycle, RV, Medicare products. They handle it all to make sure you're fully insured, but also at the same time, they do a great job of finding any way they can while making sure you're fully insured to save you money. Because customer service means everything to them at the good people at Purdy Insurance. Purdy Insurance, Market Street in Sunbury. Go to purdyinsurance.com here on News Radio 1070 WKOK.